right button?
Yeah.
This is Ilya Davis, the founder of the Young Economics Awareness Program. The Young Economics Awareness Program is about community-owned cooperative economics in low-income areas as a Stop the Killing initiative. I'm here this evening because they have the unveiling of the Maggie Walker Statute. It's going on tomorrow, and I wanted to come out and talk about Maggie Walker just for a minute. Maggie Walker, if you pan around and see, she was involved in so much business, economics, and commerce that she was involved in funeral homes, funeral plots. She was involved in all types of business. She employed more African American women when it came to during the 1930s. She employed more African American women than anywhere else in the state. But I believe this is that they're going to come out here tomorrow and they're going to be dressed, and I'm dressed for the occasion. They're going to be dressed for the occasion tomorrow. But I would just ask this one question: is that when they come out here tomorrow and they see all of these accomplishments of Maggie Walker's in the 1930s, and if we become a people that we spend $1.4 trillion a year and it circulates our community less than 0.1 time, I ask the question: is that if Maggie Walker could speak tomorrow at the event and be able to examine our situation as African Americans, what would she say? And it's one thing to say something and complain, but so the second question is, what would she do? So understanding the numbers, if she was here today to understand the numbers, and I'm telling you, this is no disrespect to Maggie Walker or the family of Maggie Walker, but I just want to introduce some numbers so we can be able to understand where we are today compared to where we were in the 1930s, because as much as we want to talk about it, that will be the prevalent question to everybody that's out here tomorrow that's not African American. They would, in their mind, ask the question after seeing all of these accomplishments of her. They would ask the question, what has happened to African Americans that we become a people today that spend $1.4 trillion in the economy that circulates our community less than 0.1 time? That we become a people that own less than 0.1% of the businesses in America that employ more than one person. So I believe that if she was here today, and like I said, no disrespect to Maggie Walker or the family, I believe that if she was able to speak, that she would be examining this issue. And like I said, it's one thing about examining the problem, but the other thing is about a solution. So let me go back to the Young Economics Awareness Program that I represent. The Young Economics Awareness Program represents community-owned cooperative economics in low-income area as a stop the killing, stop the poverty, stop the homelessness initiative. And community-owned cooperative economics, even it actually explains itself. We're talking about community-owned cooperative economics in low-income areas that the community is able to benefit off of the employment, number one, and number two, off of all of the net profits. So explaining the solution or the concept of the Young Economics Awareness Program, we think it makes sense to come up with the one-time financing in low-income areas, since everybody has cell phones, to do a community-owned cooperative cell phone shop. Come up with the one-time financing. Be able to employ those that might have convictions in the low-income areas, whether it's Bookham Court, 25th Street, Southside Plaza, it doesn't make a difference. But we also believe that it makes sense to come up with the one-time financing to compete against the convenience stores in low-income areas. We think it makes sense to come up with the one-time financing to compete against the insurance companies in low-income areas. That if in Bookham Court, Creighton Court, Fairfield Court, they have cars in those areas, it makes sense to come up with the one-time financing to do a community-owned insurance company, a community-owned tax preparation, a community-owned renter center. These are all one-time financing ideas that does two things. It creates employment immediately, number one, and number two, it redirects all of the net profits back to the community to be able to deal with the other issues that we have in low-income areas, for elderly, for the homeless. We'll be able to redirect, because we understand that convenience stores in low-income areas. And where I grew up, in between Cool Lane in Martin Luther King's Bridge, there's 10 convenience stores that stay open some of them stay open 24 hours a day. But it's estimated that they make anywhere from $500,000 to $1 million a year each. So I believe that, like I said, if she was here today, Maggie Walker, that she would be to some degree disappointed relative to us economically from what she did in the 1930s and where we are today. The reason by us spending $1.4 trillion that circulate in our community, less than 0.1 time, that's the reason why 1 out of 2 African American males with degrees are unemployed. That's the reason why 1 out of 2 African American males by the age of 23 are being arrested. That's the reason why all of the crime that's going on in low-income areas. But I believe that if Maggie Walker was here today, relative to what we dealt with doing this, understand in the 1930s, we were still sharecroppers during that time. That was during the time of the Great Depression that she was able to accomplish these goals. But we're talking about 2017, when we own less than 0.1% of the businesses in America that employ more than one person. So to make this idea a reality, I mean, they're going to come out here tomorrow and they're going to talk about her accomplishments back in the 1930s. But I'm telling you, the evident question with everybody that's around, that understands all of these accomplishments, is what has happened to African Americans today. That we don't have any supermarkets. We own maybe one convenience store. When it comes to beauty supply, being a $60 billion industry, we're not involved. If she rode around, if Maggie Walker was here today, and she rode around and saw ruby red and all of these different hair, and she saw how much we went to get our nails and toes done by people that's other than us, if she saw all of the business and economics and commerce that's going on even around her, it isn't about the principles. It's not about her. I'm talking about the concept that she bought relative to business, economics, and commerce. But I say that, like I said, I'm not here to complain. I'm not here to, I'm telling you, I've been over to Evergreen Cemetery. I've been over there this is where they have the statue, but I've been over there to Evergreen Cemetery where she's buried. Her physical body is buried. And I'm telling you, if she was here today and was able to ride over there and see so those are the evident questions. They're going to gloss over all types of stuff tomorrow. But in the back of most of the minds of those that are foreigners and didn't come from here is what has happened to African Americans, that she had accomplished all of this in the 30s. And today we are actually consumers and employees. We're at almost a 50% unemployment rate, African Americans. But because we have become a people that are consumers and employees. So I believe in community-owned cooperative economics, and I sincerely believe that I wish that I could be able to talk to Maggie Walker about community-owned, because it's different from when it was in 1930, where it is today, when it comes to the crab in a barrel mentality that exists. But I believe, and some people call it the Willie Lynch syndrome, but I believe that the only way that we break the crab in the barrel mentality, because I know if I open up a convenience store in that low-income area, or if I open up a beauty supply and I'm a little higher, that we're not going to support me, that the way to break that mentality is through community-owned. Those that live in Wookham Court, Creighton Court, Fairfield Court, it doesn't make a difference. What other low-income areas that don't even qualify for the jobs that exist today, but because they're convicted felons. But we're talking about creating jobs through community-owned cooperative economics in low-income areas where the felony won't be a problem. So just imagine if you understand Richmond, Virginia, Southside Plaza and Circle Shopping Center, or Renter Center, check cashing. We don't own any of those. And during the 30s, she owned, bank institutions. But if looking in low-income areas, used cars, these are all one-time financing ideas that does, like I said,
two things immediately. It creates jobs in those low-income areas to stop the killing and the crime. And number two, all of the net profits don't go to me, don't go to the pastor, don't go to you. It go back to benefiting the community. So, but understand that, we're going to move from here when it comes to community-owned cooperative economics. My name is Ilya Davis with the Young Economics Awareness Program. Thank you.